Look out! Ranger? Barbarian? Magician? Thief? Cavalier? And acrobat. I am Dungeon Master, your guide in the realm of Dungeons and Dragons.
Welcome back to the Titanium Hangar. This is Mike. Today I want to talk to you about the Target Fall Geek Out and more specifically the Dungeons & Dragons cartoon figures that Hasbro just kind of sprung on us. Then I found out from Mega J Retro and got a little bit more information from a few more sources, more specifically from the Toy Geeks John and Jay. We're finally getting cartoon inspired characters and figures. This is only going to be wave 1. So we're going to go through all of this. I'm going to tell you how important this is and how exciting this is. One of the more exciting videos that I've made in a long time. We're going to discuss each of these releases, price points, when they should come out, and all that kind of stuff. And of course, why it is so exciting and impressive, and why I'm happy Hasbro's doing it and not NECA. We'll talk about all this and more. There's good and bad to this, though, so I'm going to give you all the sides of it. But I'm really excited. I've got mine pre-ordered. We'll talk about this coming up. So first of all, why am I so excited about this? Specifically, if you watch my Retro Wednesday, I'm up to about 51 vintage toy lines that I'm trying to complete for the most part. But with Dungeons & Dragons, when I was collecting this, I found that it was only 19 figures, and there's a lot to it, though. A lot more to it than just 19 figures. There's a lot of variants and all this stuff. Some of the stuff gets harder to find, expensive, but it doesn't match the cartoon. There was really no media for this. It was all about the game. Dungeons & Dragons never went away at all. In fact, it's been around forever, and there have always been fans. But Stranger Things, the hit Netflix TV show, features Dungeons & Dragons in it all the time, and I'm sure that has something to do with the rise in popularity in the recent years. With no company actually making cartoon figures, I thought it was kind of odd that it's never been done before. We have a couple different sets of PVC figures that are floating around out there. There is, of course, this set of PVC figures, and they are kind of pricey. There's this grainy picture of the more common set. Some of these figures can run over $125. There's this statue from Iron Studios, and this is a series of 7 different statues that you put together to make one giant display, which looks phenomenal, but it's $700. NECA's also doing great work redoing the LJN line, which is based off of the game and not off of the cartoon, and those look phenomenal. But here's the thing, the caveat is, those are $37 figures. I mean, maybe you can catch them for $32, $35 somewhere, but BBTS has them for $37, and that's where I've got mine guaranteed to come in. And so with that, I'm happy that Hasbro's making figures at the $25 price point. So getting into the first one, we're going to talk about the Target exclusive. Now this one is exclusive to Target, and you can get it right now on Hasbro Pulse. I ordered one on Hasbro Pulse and one on Target.com just for fun, to see which one comes in first, right? And so with it being an exclusive, though, there is a chance of it being limited and all of that. And of course, the rest can be found everywhere else, I guess, once this limited time period goes through. So here we are. They look fantastic. They are spot on to the cartoon. One thing that people like to complain about Hasbro, but you can't really complain about the sculpt. The sculpt is spot on to the cartoon. Both these characters look fantastic. I do not like the packaging. It's nice looking packaging, but I would like to see the figure, and you don't get to see the figures. This is a 2-pack, and we're going to get a little more in this. Looking at the back of the box, you see a whole lot of stuff. Versus the top right, you do get to see that there is some sort of a background display that comes with it, which I absolutely love. I think it's a fantastic idea. That is outstanding, and it's a nice size to it. How tall is Venger? Venger is 8.2 inches tall, and then we have the Dungeon Master at 2.9 inches tall, which actually is very cartoon accurate. Now, we don't know about all of the posability with these figures, but it looks like very limited on the Dungeon Master, and we have elbow joints, probably shoulder joints, maybe even leg articulation, head articulation, wing articulation when it comes to Venger. We don't know any of this just yet, but I do want to say they do look fantastic, and the value at $50 to get an 8-inch figure and a 3-inch figure, you're getting 2 figures, and I think they've done this just right. I think they've paired up the characters and the figures exactly right, but I do hope there's enough of this stock for everybody to get one. I mean, right? It was an overnight, secret that just got announced this morning at 7 a.m. And you get a couple of dies with this and some flame effects, some hand effects. So next up I want to talk about Hank, and I admit that Hank looks, again, just like the cartoon. Just phenomenal. I'm going to put this still right next to it so that we can kind of see how these look. So I pretty much, all the ones in Wave 1 are prominently featured in this picture. So looking at this, he looks fantastic. His bow is spot on to exactly what it should look like. And in fact, when I was looking at the bow, I was thinking, does that really match the cartoon? And yes, it does. There's really no string to it. But then it gets, infused with magic. Well, once it gets infused with magic, it kind of gets transparent and all that kind of stuff. So that looks fantastic. I think they did a great job with this. These are 6-inch scale figures, by the way. So with Avenger 8.2, these are around 6 and all of that. And $25. So again, if NECA would have done it, it would have been $37, and it would have been more realistic looking and less cartoony, I believe, in this case. But maybe they would have hit the cartoon because they can hit cartoon with the NECA Turtles. But I hate the packaging. I 100% hate this packaging. I want to see the figure. This is technically a blind box packaging because I don't know what's in there. It could be a bottle of water in there, but I feel good pre-ordering this and being the first to get it. Now, I wouldn't feel good getting them 6 months after they've been out online or buying them in the store. So this is going to be one of those things that I'm front loading and getting 2 sets right away so that I know I've got 2 good sets. And of course I will open one, but it is frustrating with the packaging. But he looks fantastic. I'm really excited for this. He comes with a I don't know how many sides, 8-side die. So moving on from Hank the Ranger, we're going to get into Bobby the Barbarian and Uni the Unicorn. Now I want to say that Uni the Unicorn is almost spot on to the original European PVC figure because it doesn't have any articulation to it that it looks. Maybe the head probably moves, maybe the tail moves, but you can tell that the joints don't move, which is fine. Again, it's fine. $25, you get 2 smaller figures packed together that pair up to make a $25 value. I'm not arguing value on this at all. I think $25 is great, especially since I don't even think that these are going to sell to the level like a Star Wars or a Marvel Legends or anything like that. This is a little bit lesser known of a brand, and they're taking a risk. Very excited for this. Obviously, there's a movie coming out next year, so that's why they can take the risk. But Bobby looks really good, exactly like the cartoon. Sculptors did a great job. I personally don't like the double jointed knees cut, the way they cut the double jointed knees. I would have done with a little bit less articulation and a cleaner knee, but we know the way the world is, and more people want massive articulation, like he's going to be, I don't know, kicking his own butt or something. So he does come with a 12-sided die. And we already saw the packaging, and this is what it looks like. I'm not a fan. I don't really need to beat that dead horse anymore, but I'm super stoked about this. Aside from the packaging, which is really going to tick me off if, like, down the road when they come out with Series 2, and they have windows and they carry forward figures with windows, I'm going to be really mad. I'm going to want to return this garbage packaging in the future if they have window packaging. So next up is Diana. I think they did a phenomenal job with her. In fact, actually, better job with her than the rest of them. The knees themselves are really small, and they look like kneecaps. They don't look like giant, disgusting breakup of the leg. So that's fantastic. That looks really good. And so this character looks just like the cartoon. I mean, I really don't know that at a $30-something price point, $12 more, that NECA would have done a better job than this. But it looks great. I commend Hasbro. The accessories are great. Accessories are fine. Fantastic looking figure. Let's see what she looks like in the packaging and all that kind of stuff. Again, the packaging sucks, but I really think this is outstanding. You've got her, so she's got a bow staff, and then she's got the bow staff infused with magic and all that kind of stuff, so that works really well. She's got a 20-side die. I personally didn't play Dungeons & Dragons very much. My brother was super duper ultra into it with him and a bunch of his friends, and I was around it. So, but with that, I just remember all these different dies that they had, and I would roll them myself and just have fun seeing what number came up. But I really didn't play the game so much. But anyway, this is an outstanding set. I am super excited for. Okay, so who would be in Wave 2? I would almost guarantee Eric Cavalier. This would be a Wave 2 candidate, and he would look pretty good, pretty much just like this. Now, it's really hard to get a full body shot in any of these shows. The animation, of course, does not want to, the animators don't want to animate the entire character and all that kind of stuff, and plus, you get more detail when they just focus on on the face, all that kind of stuff. And the group shots are done. But anyhow, the cheapness of the animation kind of leaves us with struggling to get a full body shot. I think he looks pretty cool. I think it'll be a fun character. They'll do him right, and of course he'll have his shield, and he'll probably have an alternate like weaponed up shield and that kind of stuff. So pretty cool. I look forward to this character. I'm pretty sure we'll hear about this in Wave 2. So next up we have Sheila the Thief, and I'm sure she'll come with a cloak. Probably not soft goods, obviously, and it's not kind of a Hasbro thing. And she'll look like this, probably exactly like this. And so fantastic. I look forward to seeing how this figure turns out, and it's going to be pretty awesome. So this is actually an excellent line from back in the day that they could have made these figures back in the day, but no one ever did. So I don't really know the whole story behind why they didn't, but girl figures didn't sell so well back in the 80s, or at least they thought they didn't. And nowadays, though, Hasbro has no problem putting a whole wave of female characters out and not caring if they sell or not. So this is the perfect line, because I guarantee they will sell. Female characters will sell very well in this line because, well, fans have been starved for this for so long. Next up is Presto the Magician, and again, it's hard to get full body shots of them. So here he is playing with Uni, or talking to Uni, or Uni. So this character quintessentially is what I think of when I think of Dungeons and Dragons, and we got a magician in there and that kind of stuff. Not a good magician, but a magician. So anyhow, I'm pretty sure he'll be in Wave 2 also. But then you got to think, how many will they have? 5? So if we have these good guys in here, there got to be some bad guys, right? Let's start with a bad girl, and Karina here is probably going to be made as a bad guy or bad girl. And the thing about this is that I think you get some shared parts. They could just make the Venger wings for her. Venger's wings looked a little bit small, and these look big on her, so obviously they would probably share some wing parts. Maybe even share a few other parts, because they are related. There's a relationship between them as the sister of Venger, I believe. So with all of that, I could see this Karina figure getting made in Wave 2. Next up is there's Shadow Demon, which I don't know how they would pull this off, but it would be pretty cool. I would think they would make a Shadow Demon. Maybe it would be... So the Shadow Demon, maybe they're going to make him clear. Maybe he's going to be some sort of an exclusive. Maybe translucent. That would be kind of cool right there. I don't know if they're going to reuse parts, share parts or anything, but this definitely needs to be one of the villains that they put out in Wave 2. And lastly, we got to kind of find what's going to happen with Tiamat. Now, Tiamat is a very expensive figure from back in the day, and it's vastly undersized, and people are paying upwards of like $500 and $600 to get a complete one with unbroken wings. I got mine for $300. I thought that was way too much. Way too much. But they could put a retail release out of this. They could make this thing for like $50 or $60, no problem. Big enough to fit the scale and the line and all that. But how are they going to release it? Will they even release it? Will they go that far? But this is something that fans really would get behind. A Tiamat. A 6-inch 1/12 scale Tiamat, which would probably be about 3 times the size of the finished LJN version. But I'm curious what you guys think about this entire toy line. I'm really excited for this, and there's other things that they could make, such as the Nightmare Horse, or they could actually, you could probably just fit in your own horse. Doesn't look like they're going to make Nightmare Horse, because the way Venger looks doesn't look like he's made to ride the horse. So anyway, you could probably modify your Venger and modify maybe one of the McFarlane Build-A-Horse. That would work. So comment down below, like, subscribe. Tydirium Hanger, out.
I'm trying to think of a way to get us out of this freaky place and back home.
If there is a way home.
Don't worry, there is, and we'll find it.
Dungeon Master. Where did you come from?
Oh, someplace between there and here.
Listen, I've had it with your riddles. Now give us a straight answer for once.
I will add your magic to mine, and then destroy you and your meddlesome friends.
I'll never be that good a magician.